everyone, this is Anjali. So today we'll be having a discussion related to clinical research industry with the team of Excel Career. Let's introduce about this team. So I introduce first Dr. Smita, who's our academic director at Hyderabad. We have Ms. Judith Maria, who's academic director at Bangalore. And we have Mahesh Silveri, who's a director and a CEO of Excel Career. Let's move on for the discussion. So, hello everyone. Hi.
Hi Anjali.
So today, I have some few questions which we have to discuss related to clinical research industry. So my question is, why, being me student, why I have to enter an Excel Career?
Good question you asked, Anjali. See, Anjali, Excel Career was established in the year 2016, and since then, now almost 6 years, we are moving into 7th year. And in all these years, we have tried to do our best, knowing the market needs, and we are trying to provide as students a program which actually takes care of them on the knowledge about clinical research as well as skills which require for them to crack an interview, which companies are also equally looking at, apart from technical finance. So we are ensuring a student is employable. Today, it's not about degrees. It's not about knowledge as such in general. It's about, are you industry ready? Are you employable? So that is one of the million-dollar questions in front of freshers. And I must say that since 2016, Excel Career is answering that requirement justifiably, with the help of such wonderful heads of the departments which we have, Dr. Smita, who takes care of clinical research, and her module sets the tone for the students, that is a basic module. And later on, Judith Maria, who's takes care of the modules like pharmacovigilance and data management. So such wonderful trainers are ensuring the quality is given to them, and students are benefiting in getting these interviews cracked.
Okay. So I would like to add some point to this, Anjali. See, the program what we have designed, it is a tailor-made program. We have trainers from the industry, and what is required in the industry, we train accordingly. So this type of training, if you see, we are not going with only theoretical knowledge. We are giving the knowledge what is required by the industry. So the tailor-made program makes a student well versed not only with the technical skills but also with the soft skills what are required for a job. So that makes our program unique, and that makes a student to join Excel Career.
So from listening to you, Dr. Smita, so I have what kind of soft skills training you are providing for the students which it stands good at market?
See, when we talk about an interview, we need to know about a person as a whole, right? It is about the attitude, it is about the interpersonal skills. So when I'm saying that I'm working in a team, I need to have the qualities to work with a team, right? So here with various workshops or various presentations, we make them aware of working in a team, right? We give lot of language training classes also. Language training is where we make them understand the importance of speaking fluently and speaking confidently, right? This is what is required for an interview, and these type of skills makes them they stand in the crowd. It's like basically when they stand in a crowd, they are the people who are picked up by the industry, right? So we try to build up the interpersonal skills of the students.
Yeah, so what about the modules which you are offering for the students?
Yeah,
for being fresher?
Yeah, we have different modules. It is again customized. Based on our modules, the students can go for any of these modules. So we start with clinical research or clinical trial management, which is going to be the base. And apart from that, we have a pharmacology module. So why pharmacology module here is because they have to understand the basic drug mechanisms and the therapeutic classification, like indications, for what indication it is used. So we start with clinical research, and to add on, we have a pharmacology module, and it is meant for, we have both health science and life science graduates. So it is meant for both the graduates. Then apart from that, we have CDM, and PV. So this is all our major modules, and apart from that we do train them in scientific writing. To be more specific, we train them in regulatory writing, and then we have regulatory affairs. So these two are our minor modules, rest all are major modules. Either the students can opt for CR and PV or CR and CDO. So this is going to be our major module, and based on the students, their area of interest, because by the time they finish the CR module, they have an idea like what is CDM is all about, what is PV is all about. So they can take up a call on it. Accordingly, either they take the entire module or they customize it based on their requirements.
Okay.
So this is how we frame our modules.
So coming back, how it more effective for life science students? What opportunities they are having?
Yeah.
Very good question you are asked. In fact, when we are looking at clinical research industry, there is a normal perception that it deals with drugs. So predominantly the pharmacists or the healthcare professionals have to play a major role. Okay, but there is a misnomer of such thing. There is a myth, I would say, and this question gives me an opportunity to take on this myth. And I must say that since clinical research is a multidisciplinary process, okay, where like Judith Maria has mentioned, it has to deal with drug clinical trial process, data management, pharmacovigilance, and all other streams are part of it. Like SAS is also one of the part of it. Now, when you are looking at this multidisciplinary process, you would not only pharmacists required. The life science graduates, you are naming, if I can say, you're talking about biotechnology postgraduates, you're talking about microbiology students, I guess, you're talking about biochemistry students, genetics, bioinformatics, I must say, anything
zoology, botany,
with all these disciplines.
Yeah. So they all have an equal play to do here in this process. And I must say that these students, when they are joining at the same package as any other stream of students. And I must say, most of these students also rising up to a level of project managers, to the level of directors. So they have a huge amount of career opportunities in the industry to look forward.
Equal opportunities for life science graduates as that of the pharmacy, because everybody thinks that clinical research deals only with pharma people.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely life science graduates do have a place in clinical research industry, and they do well. We have observed for last so many years that they do well in clinical research industry.
So I just want to know now about the career opportunities in clinical research.
So to begin with, we have plenty of opportunities in clinical research. So since we start with a base program that is clinical trial management, so they can look into an opportunity in clinical trials. So if you ask me the designation, so they can start with the CRC profile. So CRC is a clinical research coordinator who will be appointed by the particular site where they conduct the trials. So then they move on to the higher hierarchy like CRE, then team leader. So it goes in the hierarchy of that order. So here they'll be exposed to the clinical trials, how a trial is conducted, the site, whether it complies with the regulation of the particular country. So each country has its own regulations to conduct the trial. So they need to say whether they comply with those regulations. So this is what they do it in clinical trials based on the country's requirement. Then if you see in clinical data management, here they capture all the clinical trial data in a software, in a tool. So here, they capture the clinical trial, subjects data, and, if there is any errors, because the data has to be free from errors. So here we have to check if there is any discrepancies with the data. So that's where they work in data management. So they, take the data from the trials and they put it on the tools. That's how they manage the clinical data management. So here we have both life science and health science can be accommodated in this profile. And if you see PV, so each drugs, if you see, it is entitled for some side effects. Okay, so the side effects has to be monitored even if the drug comes to the market. So that will be monitored by the drug safety associates. So each company will have their own PV department where these areas of the drugs will be monitored. Here also both life science and health science graduates are eligible. So this is the core module, I can say core domains.
Okay.
Apart from that, we have a regulatory writing which I told you about. So in regulatory writing also, they write the documents which is required for a particular country. Okay, so the documents can be a protocol, it can be consent form. So these are, for example, so this is a kind of writing, even they can be accommodated in this module. Again, coming to regulatory affairs, again it depends upon the country's requirement. So based on the country's requirement for a particular development of a molecule, they have to compile the documents, make it as per the standard, and then they submit to the regulatory people to get the approval. So these are all the various domains where they can be accommodated. So this is the career opportunities. Based on our modules, we have this career opportunities.
Thank you, Miss Judith. So, yeah, probably next question what I could ask you is, so you said the opportunities, interview opportunities and the modules. So this and this, how we are going to manage for the students' benefit, what benefit it will be like in the perspective of interviews?
When we are talking about the modules, we definitely teach them as per the industry requirement. So every module we give them a complete information about what the industry is demanding, right? And after completion of each module, we do have mock interviews which will make a student well versed with what type of questions will be asked in the interviews, right? After every module, there is a mock interview. We assess the student based on the mock interviews. We do have presentations where in every module we give them presentation to understand the presentation skills. This also will help them in understanding how to present themselves in the industry. Most importantly, we have a very beautiful program of pre-placement training. This pre-placement training is given to every student who is going for an interview, where we train them as per the job description mentioned by the company. Okay, so this pre-placement training will not only be a revision for whatever they have learned, but also they will know how to answer in the interview based on the job description. Okay, so this is where the student will be more comfortable in attending the interview. Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Smita. Yeah, so this from your institute giving that training, and apart from others, like what they differentiate which Excel career is doing. So if you tell few points, then other students also will get to know about it.
Yes. See, as I earlier told you, that this program what we have structured, it does not only involve technical skills. We have a program called induction program, which we start whenever a new batch starts. So this induction program what we have structured, it's basically on what a student, because a student comes from a college, they are not aware of the different skill sets required by the industry, right? So here what we do is we make them comfortable so that they are ready to learn things. Okay. So how do we make them comfortable? We give them certain language related classes, we give them some presentation skills related classes, we make them well versed with MS Office, which is one of the most important requirement of the industry, right? So this if you see, there will not be any such training given in the other institutes. Apart from this, we have employability skill classes. These employability skills are required for a student to know when he comes from a college, because in college we learn only how to write an exam, right? We don't know how to present ourselves in the industry. So these employability skills classes makes them understand the requirements. Also, we have aptitude classes. Aptitude classes, as you know, aptitude test is the first thing which we will be requiring in an interview, right? So, how to write? But most of the life science graduates or most of the people from pharmacy background, they are not aware of this aptitude thing. So, when we teach them, we make them practice. It's not only teaching them, making them practice. So that is what we do in Excel Career. So Excel Career module, if you see, technical and blend of technical and non-technical modules, which will make a person fully ready for an interview.
Okay.
So that makes our program different from the other institutes.
Okay.
I'll have to hear
Yeah.
to what Dr. Smita has shared and earlier Judith Maria has shared. As you all know, we had pandemic where we all have to stay put in the home, and most of the students at that time has to take the classes online. Now, when they were taking the classes online, there was this limitation again in terms of conversation, skills development. So, when these students pass out of the college and they were applying for the company openings, there is huge gap in terms of the requirement, employability skills. Now you would be happy to know, Anjali, through you I want to tell to the student who is listening this video, he will be happy to know that as an institute we are the first in India wherein we have started the language training for a month-long period. Now that is again for such students which is an optional. But again, most of the students are benefiting since we are not teaching them ABCD, but we are teaching them personality development, which in return will help them in confidence building. So this is what Excel Career, understanding the gap and the market needs and dynamics and how the students are favoring in their process of getting into an interview. So this is again a novel initiative which Excel Career is doing in the program, and I must say 1 month of spoken English classes, whichever institute you take, it does cost some amount of money. Excel Career is giving this program without student asking, because as an institute we look at our brand name as our importance. Because the students, when they join Excel Career Institute, we feel they are representing our institute in front of a corporate world. Okay, so we want them to be fully equipped so that the company finds our students able to recruit them. And believe me, with this submission, I also want to say, as an institute, not only Excel Career, there are a lot of institutes which actually doing wonderful services to the clinical research industry by giving this short-term crash course finishing school type of programs, which invariably the industry is actually hiring them as a choice of candidates. I can say with my 15 years of career, I am not yet come where an industry person in a large forum or any gathering who has actually acknowledged that institutes are doing some good service to the industry. With this talk, I want to send this message to the industry. We need your support because we are a platform between a student and industry. And this platform is transferring student to professional. So we do look forward for your support as you have been doing it. Only thing is which is missing is acknowledging our services to the clinical research industry.
Thank you, Mahesh, for letting us to know about your program. So I want to know about what is the mode of training what you give to Excel Career students.
So we have different modes of training. We have online mode, we have offline mode, and we have weekend batches, we have evening classes. Again, the students' requirements are like that. So some candidates will be working and they wanted to take up a session. So if they work during the day, they can take up the evening session. So we frame it again as per their requirement. So if you take why we have this virtual mode, that happened after the pandemic, because the students were at home and we wanted to engage them, and we had inquiries about the program. That's where we ended up starting our virtual mode. And if you ask me, because all our mindsets are like, we need to go for an offline mode. Why online mode? And if you ask me in that way, we don't compromise anything on the online mode. That is the virtual mode. It is at par with the offline mode. So we don't have to sit for hours together for a session. It's going to be a 1.5 hour session. So we will have a live interaction with the students, like one-on-one interaction with the students, and it's going to be they get the same experience of offline training. Okay, so that's what we experienced, because for the past 2 years we are into this mode, and we are comfortably and successfully we could place the students with our online mode. We had lot of placements that happened during the pandemic because of our online mode. And one more thing is that even some of the corporates now they go for virtual interviews, like it happens through Skype or Google or Zoom. So they have to get tuned to those virtual modes also. So with this, they get tuned to those kind of the interview part also. So these are all our modes of training. Yeah.
So what about offline?
Offline, we have a setup in Hyderabad, we have a setup in Bangalore, where we have our offline batches and the trainers come there and they do take up the sessions there. It's going to be a normal classroom session. So it's the usual kind of training session, but it is, to be more specific, we have a professional training here. So it will be a bit more professional compared to your colleges. So we'll hold their hands, right? So till the interview, they are under us. So this is how we give our training process.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Judith. So I just want to know about the training. When we say like what kind of trainers you have, like do you prefer one trainer for all the modules or generally for each? Generally like here one subject they take 2, 3, 4. So what about Excel Career? What about their training?
See, we have different trainers for different modules. Since we say that every module is different and it requires a different skill set, that is the reason why we give different modules, right?
Yes.
So definitely the trainers have to be different for different modules.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
whatever trainers we have, they are people who are experienced in that particular domain.
Okay.
So we take experienced people so that they can speak about their experience and they can talk about the modules which they have, they are experienced in that particular module. So they will be able to explain in a better way, right? So that is how we have different trainers for different modules.
That sounds great actually. For a different modules, there is a different an experienced trainer who comes and trains. That makes like already Excel Career is giving 100%. There the trainer who's having same domain experience, so it becomes like 200% kind of training. That's really nice. Excel Career team is doing for us guys. So yeah, thank you, Ms. Smita. Now currently I wanna have what is the motto what Excel Career wants to tell to our students.
Okay, this question it's very important in perspective of when students want to take up a course and why they should join Excel Career. I'll like to say in short actually this answer. Yeah. So Excel Career is an institute which has government association and affiliation with LSSDC for assessment and training. The only institute in clinical research which this affiliation has conferred. That shows about Excel Career credibility in the market. For anybody who is looking for a government affiliation institute, Excel Career should stand out for you. And other reason for Excel Career, as my colleagues Dr. Smita, Judith Maria has been very positively and clearly mentioned about the modules which are there in clinical research industry, domains which are there in the clinical research industry. The Excel Career is trying to justify with as many as trainers for each module. If you compare with any other institute available in the market, no institute will match to the number of trainers which were put in for one batch, which is almost to 9 trainers per batch who will be exposed to. That's a wonderful kind of your money you are paying to an institute. Now, why you pay money to an institute? For training, isn't it? If you're paying money for a training for purpose, where your money should be diverted to or invested it? In the training, isn't it? Now you got the answer what I might mean to say. 9 trainers are being put in for this particular training to get the best training to you so that you have the knowledge as it is what you should know. That's one of the strength and one of the USP of Excel Career program, I would say that. And then as you normally today you buy anything in the world or anything which you go around online, what do you normally see before buying?
We generally see Google reviews.
Google reviews? Excellent, Anjali. Thank you very much. And you will be happy to see the Google reviews of Excel Career is not 10, 100, 1000. It's approximately 1600 reviews, which is actually, yeah.
Nice.
So that takes a lot of asking, that takes a lot of consistent work month after month, batch after batch. I can say proudly our batch placement is anywhere between 60% to 80% per batch percentage of placements happening, which is highest in the industry.
That's really sweet.
So that's
nice of your institute.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So that's another positive aspect of Google review. And Google review are students who are given with a lot of satisfaction on the training and the skill development and the placement front. Okay. And the other thing which I want to add here, non-technical skills. And I think that is where Excel Career has its work cut out. And we take with a lot of pride and happiness that we are actually trying to do something for the student development, because technically anybody, you can also learn online watching YouTube videos, but I guess YouTube videos will not give you the whole crux of the process, because you will not understand it. So you need a training center, training institute, trainers to guide you what is the clinical research process is all about. But what I mean to say is that the skills which are required, you have to learn through an expert, and that's where Excel Career is spending good amount of non-technical training for you, so that you are ready for the industry and employer. And one more point to the same, we are looking from our institute students to take this training, not only crack the interview, but we want them to become managers. That is the level of the training is given at the institute. That kind of grooming, apart from technical, non-technical, is given to that level where the student is easily cracking the technical interview, HR interview, but when he is in the industry, he is climbing up the ladder of success much easier, much faster. That's another thing which I want to tell you about our program. And the other last important thing which students would always happy to hear, what is the placements? My answer to that I earlier shared to you, it is in the range of 60 to 80%. We have certain mechanism in place. It will take a lot of time, but I'll try to cut short that mechanism, which is what we do at Excel Career. Right from induction classes to one-to-one feedback in the 3rd week, 4th week we have presentations. Along with that, every day Viva kind of a session happens before the session starts, and every week there is a written exam. And with all these of processes in a month, you will be subjected to mock interview. I want to tell you, Anjali, for the benefit of the audience and students, the mock interviews are conducted at Excel Career. At least minimum 3 to 4 mock interviews are conducted.
Oh, really? It's great for students to learn.
Yes. Now, when it's learn, and you will be happy to know, with this kind of mock interview exposure, when they attend the real-time interview, Anjali, most of our students, they find the real-time interview which they attended was much easier and much simpler to tackle, because such practices, such interview exposure, such questions were already being exposed in this mock interview. And we feel happy, because they have able to find that experience that the technical interview or the company interview is easy, because this kind of process was exposed to them. Okay, so this is the placement per se. We have huge mechanism and it's happening well, and through you, I think we are able to tell to students, if you are really serious about taking a course, not only for getting a job but for future growth of your career, invest your 3 to 4 months of time at Excel Career. I will guarantee you, you will not disappoint, is my word to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Excel team, for letting us to know the opportunities in clinical research industry. I hope audience, you got to know much about clinical research industry and about the opportunities in the career growth. So if you are willing to know much more about clinical research industry, they have a website like Excel Career. So if you type in Google Excel Career, you get to know about lot of information and their testimonies and all the things where you can choose a right institute to develop your career. So bye bye, thank you.